Home. Chapter 61. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Video edited by TS. If you have yet to enjoy the previous 60 parts of this series, you can find a link to them in the description box below. And if you haven't already, blah blah blah, subscribe, like, smash, whatever, and leave a comment in the comment section. If you don't know what to comment, put I owe you. Now then, please enjoy Home, Chapter 61. Marinette Dupang Chang as Ladybug. Ladybug expected to be welcomed with gasps and flashes from sidewalk cell phones, but the parish she stepped into, the city she thought would be bustling and full of life, was dusty and barren. He got here first. Ladybug looked up to see Adrian detransform from the horse Miraculous, and although her mind knew this wasn't the right moment, her heart fluttered at seeing him without his mask, and not just lit by moonlight. Yeah. She looked away. Probably tried to lure us out without realizing we were halfway across the world. Man, I hoped by now I'd be able to not detransform after using my power, but I'm just not there yet. Wait, really? She turned to see Plague and Kalki on opposite shoulders, munching away. You can? She hadn't tried it. Aren't we supposed to be able to? Man, Master Fu really isn't good at explaining stuff. Ladybug noticed Plague finished his cheese. Chat later. Adrian smiled. Claws out. Her jaw dropped. Cat! She hissed. You can't just transform like that in public. What public? He gestured to the empty Eiffel Tower, and a rabbit hole appeared and Bunnix hopped out with the letter. I'm sorry, Ladybug. I didn't deliver, she said, stepping out of her burrow. Not true, Bunnix. Ladybug stepped forward and grabbed a piece of crumpled paper from her hand. Every problem has a solution. She snuck a glance at Cat Noir, realizing the truth in her words. Even this. It'd take a bit, but she could fix her Cat Noir problems too, after this. Anyway, past her was smart, but they had to hurry. She'd forgotten they needed to be at the Louvre. Or maybe it was Cat who forgot. Either way, they needed to bug over there. And bug over they did. With barely enough time to touch down, a burrow opened and she slung her yo-yo through, joined by Cat Noir's baton without a word. You know, Ladybug said as she pulled her weapon back, it's been a bit. Since we fought together? Cat fastened his baton to his lower back. That too. She turned to him, her cheeks tight. But since, well, you know. His jaw slacked before pushing up a smile as she offered him a fist. Pound it, he said, echoing her murmur. They stood there as Paris washed herself over and the Miraculous Ladybug light filtered through the burrow, Knuckles lingering on the others. And Ladybug felt a firm resolution form in her chest, the same weight as her anger, but with an energy that would match a fitness junkie's new bench max. We should talk, she said as people reappeared, gasping as they saw two superheroes together. Cat raised his eyes, his lips parting to show off his trademark Cheshire grin that won him spots on magazine covers years before. I was just thinking the same thing. Looking around at her city, filled with the bustle of just another day turning to a page for a history book, Ladybug felt her heart fill with love. Love for the city, love for her role as a superheroine, and Well, she planned to spend some time talking about her love for, well, they would talk. She would talk. Ladybug would talk. Okay, so maybe her heart wasn't filled with love. Maybe she was just scared that all of her assumptions over the years were wrong, even though that would be a good thing. Ugh, sugar and cookies. She should just tell him she... Come on, Cat said, twisting his fist to wrap his fingers around her outstretched hand. It's time to split. He took off before she could respond, and she stumbled trying to keep up. So instead he stopped, scooped her up, and bounded away from the crowd and their cell phones as she found herself unable to protest in his arms. This was a change of pace. Well, anything to do with a mask was a change of pace, really, but that wasn't what she meant. But she liked it. She liked it and had to resist the urge to lean into his chest, although it was incredibly more firm and broad than she remembered it being. Cat brought her to the alley behind her apartment, fulfilling its purpose of the perfectly out-of-public-eye detransformation spot he'd picked years ago. Come on, he said, his voice rough but not out of breath. I believe I owe you 20 questions. I'd rather you tell me your story without interruptions, she said, turning away from his face as he detransformed. Still, he held her, longer than he should have, before she coughed and he let her slip out of his arms. Yes, I owe you that much. Silly cat. Ladybug frosted her arms, a wry smile on her face, but it wasn't a happy one. I don't want you to tell me out of obligation. Seeing his expression flicker, she pressed on. I want you to tell me because I'm someone you love. Her expression froze at her word choice. No. Friends. She wanted him to tell her because they were once friends. Friends who cared about each other. Friends who loved each other. Yeah, friend love, not I'm your ex love. Adrian's expression melted, the warmth of it thawing her own, and his body relaxed. Yeah, you are. He didn't clarify what he meant, choosing instead to head toward the back entrance of the apartment building and open the door. Unsure how to respond, Ladybug chose to detransform, giving a moment to collect her expression. Marinette! Tiki hissed, flying to her ear. I know, she whispered, hoping Adrian hadn't picked up on her tone. Here. She grabbed a cookie from her purse, hoping to buy Tiki's silence on the matter instead of unsolicited advice and worry. Unsure what would happen inside, Marinette stepped through the door her ex-boyfriend and questionable partner held for her. Would this be it? Would she finally get the answers and perhaps solace she needed? Or would this conversation lead to more questions and frustrations? The only way out was through, even with anxiety clinging to her bones and breath. The only way out was through, and she would do it. She'd leave everything on the table. Even through the miasma of emotions, Marinette couldn't help but feel like she was forgetting something. Something important. Something time-dependent. No matter what it was, this was more important. Adrian, Cat, was more important. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 62 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fanfiction. I will catch you in the next one. Bye! And if you're still listening, comment, Cat is more